Hey guys, Fish here. Today I'm going to be doing a replay analysis of Jellyboy49's replay that he sent in. He's platooned with Bobbyfett1, who is driving the ISU-152. Jellyboy is driving the KV-4, or the KV Fortress, which is what it's usually well known as, which is an extremely heavily armoured Tier 8 heavy tank on the Russian line. The alternative to the KV-4 is the IS-3, which is kind of heavily armoured. It's quicker. The IS-3 is based around speed and it's kind of bouncy turret, but the KV-4 is kind of based around huge amounts of hull armour, huge amounts of turret armour, and just generally quite a good tank. Its gun is also very good. Don't know what it is exactly. Probably some like 100mm gun or something. But yes. So, as you can see, the matchmaking in this is pretty average. 3 tier 9 tanks on both teams, with an even spread of heavies, except there's a lot more heavies on the opponent's side. However, Jellyboy's team does have more medium tanks, so that means they're going to be able to flank better. However, this is an assault mode, so having a tank that's able to flank isn't particularly helpful if you're defending, which Jellyboy is. So those medium tanks aren't really going to be much help. They might be able to be used as scouts because there aren't any light tanks on this team. However, it's probably not the preferred choice of a medium tank thing to do. Anyway, use of English there is apparent. So Jellyboy's deciding to go in the top right hand corner in A0. Well, probably around A8, because that is the heavy tank corner. Most maps have a heavy tank corner, because that's where heavy tanks like to go and fight. This heavy tank corner just happens to be at A8. So yes. Don't really know the name of the map. Probably do. But I'll put that a little annotation-y thing up, probably, hopefully, if I can remember. But yeah. So he's heading up this side with a T6 E4, which is a Pershing, Super Pershing, and WZ120, which is Chinese, I think. Might be Chinese. If not, Japanese. Chinese, definitely Chinese. So yeah, this game is very good indeed, I must say. He gets some insane amounts of potential damage and does quite a lot of damage himself. And I'm not going to spoil it too much because this is an insane game and probably one of the best KV-4 games I've ever seen. So if I was going to go down the Russian line, I would recommend going down the KV-4 line because it does lead to the best Russian tanks. I've forgotten what they are. I do know what they are. IS-8, I think. And yeah. So up on this corner, there's a Tiger 2 and a T-32. Now these are two pretty formidable tanks. They are both tier 8 heavies, so they are a threat to the KV-4, which is slightly scary, I guess. But he does get into a good position. He gets into a side-scraping position where he can have a high angle of shot, I guess. So the rounds coming into him will be having to go through a lot more armor because he's obviously at a shallower angle to the gun of the opponent. And also the opponents are going to be shooting into his tracks, which in the KV-4 is extremely strong and extremely useful and good to be used. So as you can see, this T-32 is just bouncing shots off him. He can't get any in. But Jellyboy manages to get a shot into the Tiger 2, which pops around, see what he can do. Doesn't seem to do much. Don't think he gets any shots off. Just loses about half his health. Maybe a third of his health. And yeah. So Jellyboy's trying to get some shots in. He manages to track the Tiger 2. The KV-4's gun is pretty good. It's got an average damage of around about 350, I think 340. And yeah, that's okay for a tier 8 tank. And also the fire rate is pretty good. So as you can see, just got his gun damaged, which is a bit unfortunate. He does repair that later. I would recommend repairing the gun because having an accurate gun is quite important if you want to do shots like this, like at the T-32 up there. The aim time is obviously quite slow, as you can see, which is probably a downfall for this tank. But, you know, whatever. So he's got quite a good position here. He seems to be holding off these 3 tanks by himself. Roughly, kind of, in a way. He has got the two medium tanks and the heavy tank. What was that? That's a Tiger 2. But they don't seem to be doing much, really, in terms of holding off these tanks. So he's doing a good job in that sense. Here, I think he makes a slight mistake. He shouldn't have put the front of his tank out to show his hull, because the T-32 did damage him there, which is a bit unfortunate. Now, the shots are going to be going into mostly around his turret, because that is probably a fluky place to hit, but I think it has got some of the weak spots of the KV-4, like the massive gun mantlet, not gun mantlet, the massive mini turrety thing on the top. But as you can see, he just is soaking up all of these hits in his tracks. Kind of annoying losing all these tracks, but you know, whatever. As you can see down in the bottom right, Bobby Fett just got killed by a T-30, which is not surprising because the T-30 is the Tier 9 American tank destroyer, so it's going to be quite a derpy gun compared to the ISU-152, and in terms of penetration and damage, but so basically had no chance. So there we go. They just spotted some more. They just spotted the tanks again, so they can get shots in. Trying to get a shot on that IS-3, manages to get one off, but he bounces off the pike nose of the IS-3, which is one of the benefits of the IS-3, which is the other Tier 8 Russian tank, not tank destroyer, heavy tank, sorry. So there it is again. It's got a bouncy turret as well, as you can see from the angling of the IS-3's turret. So the WZ behind him seems to be doing a bit of damage. He's doing quite a good job at it. And he is, in fact, doing quite well as a medium tank in this kind of matchmaking. Using the KV-4 as a sort of live blockade thing, because the KV-4 has got the armour to do it. It's also a very, very heavy tank, and you may have heard of people running down hills, well, not running, running in a tank, driving in a tank downhill and just ramming people to death. Now that's very useful in this tank because people do try to drive into you, get around your side, but if you can just tip the back of your tank out a bit and make them impact it, they will lose quite a lot of health, which is surprising. So he's managing to bounce pretty much every shot that's being shot at him, and he's done around 705 hit points worth of damage, which is really good-ish. Not really, but it does get a lot better. Bounced off the gun mount of the T-32 there. Bouncy gun mount of that tank. Wouldn't surprise me if he didn't penetrate. Bounced another shot off the IS-3, which does have quite a high penetration gun at Tier 8. Now he's got to be careful of that Tiger P round there, because he could flank if he takes out that WZ-120. Which is probably going to happen, seeing as the WZ-120 is on quite low health. So, just got tracked again in quite an awkward position. Can't get any shots off. He's just got to wait for the tanks now to either push round and he can see if he can get some shots on and hopefully fend them off, or he just needs to keep this position concrete. But as you can see, they have been flanked and the enemy is at the cap, which means that if Jelly Boy, sorry, if Jelly Boy can't get these guys here, or he does get these guys here, he's going to have to go around and stop the cap, which is probably not going to happen because this tank is very slow indeed. So currently it's just a J-Panther who needs to hold off the cap, which is a bit annoying, seeing as the J-Panther is a Tier 7 and they are mostly Tier 9s there. But as you can see, he just got flanked by something. He is being shot in the butt. Lost a lot of health there. T-32 is moving up on the T-32. As you can see, huge amount of damage lost by the T-32 there. Basically a whole shot just because he rammed into him. He can get the T-32 here. There we go. Maybe not. Fluke. But he's kind of screwed here. If he needs to kill that T-32. He is his main threat at the moment. Get a nice shot off him. There we go. Finally killed the T-32. Now he's going to turn around quickly before the Tiger P and M103 come around and flank him and kill him. But before he can get a shot off at the Tiger P, oh wait, before he can kill the Tiger P, the base is capped and that's the end of the game. So in that game, he did perform very well. We got lots and lots of potential damage, and I'll show you that in the detailed report. But yeah, let's get into that. Lots of tactical play. End recording. Now. Okay guys, so this is the post-battle report screen thing. I am now doing it on the internet because taking a screenshot and then putting it and recording over was pissing me off. So I'm deciding to just go straight from the Water Tanks Replays website, and I'll put a link to that in the description. And I'll put a link to Jellyboy49's replay in the description so you can have a deeper look. So for the badges that he got in that was the second class mastery badge. He got shell proof. He got fire for effect, bruiser, cool headed, and steel ball. You're going to be amazed about how much damage he blocked. Kind of put away there, kind of given away there by the title, but hush. So he damaged the Tiger P, Tiger 2, IS3, T5, 4E1, Carnarvon, T32, and T50, T25AT. I'm an actual idiot. Didn't damage them. I think he must have spotted them or bounced off them or took a shot at them. Not too sure. Team score, in terms of damage he dealt, he came first in a tier 9 game, which is really good. And he came, to be honest, he came first out of the... Oh wait, no he didn't. Jesus Christ. Okay, they did pretty well as well, but anyway. 2,500 damage, that is what he did. However, the thing that's really amazing is that there. 8,180 damage blocked. That is just insane. Really amazing. Shows what the KV-4 can actually do. And yeah, 2,590 damage done. He got 917 experience for that, which is pretty good. I think he got an achievement as well, whatever that. Oh, I think he might have had some sort of consumer, what's it called, personal reserve on. I'm not too sure, but that's pretty good. And he got 6,875 credits overall because he had to take off auto repair and resupply and yeah, another resupply thing. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching.